Once upon a time, Angelina Jolie starred in a movie. That's Maleficent, coming to theaters this weekend. I'm Scott Bowles with USA Today, and we've got a storybook ending at the screening room.
And I'm Claudia Puig, film critic for USA Today. Well, we had a storybook beginning, kind of. I really liked the CG, and that's what we just saw right there, the swooping. I mean, I was kind of like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to be so caught up in this enchanted fairyland of a world. And then, after the first few minutes, I was not feeling so happy. I really think this showed a lot of promise in the beginning. And in addition to, you know, some of that CG work, you had stuff that looked almost like Arendelle in Lord of the Rings. You had little flickering characters that looked like something out of Pan's Labyrinth. But then there was this story that didn't go anywhere, and it ends up being this sort of retro woman who was wronged story. And Charlotte Copley, who I'd loved in District 9, did nothing in this. Elle Fanning, who's been really good, all she did was smile. Angelina Jolie occasionally spoke, but mostly she glowered and pouted. And she looked very glamorous. But
you know, it kind of reminded me of Snow White and the Huntsman. There's a move afoot to modernize the fairy tale. Unfortunately, modernizing it seems to make it dark. It's beautiful to look at, but there's none of that kind of love. I remember Oz. That was a pretty good film about filling in the blanks you might not remember. This wanted to be Wicked, but it doesn't have that heart.
Exactly. I thought about Wicked, and I thought about, you know, the fact that we have these villainous characters that have complexity to them, and that's a great thing, like the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, and Elphaba in Wicked, and even to some extent Elsa in Frozen. Those are all valid characters, and kids get those, but there was a kid sitting next to me that kept saying over and over again, and not a really tiny kid, like a 6 or 7 year old, to her parent, to her dad, is Maleficent good or is Maleficent bad? And I thought, this is going to confuse kids, and this was not a, you know, 2-year-old. And I think you need to develop, you know, that complexity a little bit more. We understood why Queen Elsa was, you know, she was conflicted. Everything she touched turned to ice. In this, you don't really get why she's, you know, curses this little baby to a lifetime of a coma. So, yeah, you just didn't have the backstory built up well enough. It just wasn't very well written.
I think that kid hit the question on the head. Is it good or bad? And for me, it's bad. I'm saying skip it.
Bad for me, too. I also say skip it. That's it for us this week. Join us for our discussion of A Million Ways to Die in the West. And in the meantime, have a great weekend. And don't forget to see a movie.